Alright guys, here we go, back up at the peak, back on the two-stroke, the 2019 KTM 250XC. We've put some laps in here on Sutter Trail. We're going to try to possibly start thinking about trying to get into shape for some woods racing. There's some events up in Washington I'd like to, take a shot at this year. Bucket list type stuff. Eddyville being one of them. It depends on weather, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to commit to that stuff right off the bat. It's a long drive for one thing. And I don't mind the travel as long as I can get the time off work without any issues. But I don't really want to travel for a disaster of a mud race either. Of course, this time of year I don't mind a little bit of weather. But I'm kind of a Sally anymore. I don't really want it to be super cold either. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm a fair weather rider now. I hope not, but I just don't like having to be all bundled up to, to have fun on my dirt bike. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty much a fair weather rider now. 40 degrees and up. So like I said, this is Sutter Trail. It's just a fun kind of flowy trail. I enjoy it. One of my favorite trails up here. Usually put a lap on it every time I'm up here. It is a two-way trail, of course, so you have to be aware of that. You can never just kind of send it because well, you know why. I talk about it all the time. And there's been some straight up traffic going on here, taking some of the switchbacks out of it. I'm not really sure why people do that. They've kind of made it into a big hill, I guess. Maybe that's awesome, but it kind of messes with the flow of the original trail a little bit, but it's not too bad. I'm not trying to complain and whine, I just don't always understand it, I guess. But yeah, the 2019 KTM 250XC running like a champ. Felt like she was maybe a little lean today. I didn't pull very good on top. But like I mentioned in my last video, it's possible that I just, got so used to riding the 4-stroke 450 that, yeah, this bike just felt a little foreign to me, I guess. Not bad. But just didn't feel like she pulled that far on top. It's always been a really good mid-range bike. With the FMF pipe, it helped out the pull on top, but it still doesn't pull like a 450. And I don't know if I should expect it to or not, but she don't. So yeah, I got about 15 minutes out of this session. And there was another lap or two before this as I tried to figure out how I was going to come up with my loop. My intent was to run 30 minutes because I don't run much wood stuff anymore. I don't, I've been running 15-minute motos for practice on the moto track, and I could tell that 15 minutes I got pretty tired. But like I said, there were a couple other laps before this as I tried to figure out what I was doing. Put a loop together. But I definitely fell short of my 30-minute goal. I didn't realize that at the time, but looking at this video, it's pretty much 15 minutes long. But baby steps. I haven't really ridden any off-road racing. Well, definitely not last year. So, yeah, we'll have to get back into it, get it figured out. I don't think I'm going to run any series this year. I mean, I haven't seen what OMRA is doing, so I definitely am not ruling out riding some of those. But try to throw some MX races in there as well. And maybe I assume AMA West is going to come back here to Jacksonville. So perhaps, maybe I'll do that round, but maybe I'll run Sportsman or something that isn't 2.5 hours long. I don't know, we'll see. Definitely going to be running 50 plus. And yeah, you know, I'm getting old, so that's why I ride dirt bikes. Keeps me young. Keeps me chooching. And of course, I'm not riding real aggressive here as we start lap 2. You know, I'm trying to condition myself to find a pace that I can run and just go as fast as I can for as long as I can. That's my woods riding motto, right? Go as fast as you can for as long as you can. I guess that's my motto for everything I do when it comes to dirt bikes, but yeah, trying to keep it together, keep it off the ground. But, you know, like I said, it's cold up here, so there's some frozen ground if you get in the right spots. And I definitely don't want to land on the ground because, well, it hurts, as I state the obvious. But although this wasn't the 30-minute moto that I wanted, it was a solid 15 and it felt really good. I felt pretty strong. I did get tired, got a little bit of arm pump towards the end, but not too bad. I definitely could have kept riding longer, but part of the reason why I quit was because there were quite a few people up here, and yeah, it was just getting kind of convoluted. But I've done a bike check video on this, the video before this, and it was up here on Sutter Trail on this day. But we kind of talked at the end about, you know, I'd asked if I should upgrade the bike, if I should go to a TBI KTM 2-stroke, should I go to a 4-stroke like a 350 or something like that, which I think would be really good in the woods. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this bike because it's solid and I enjoy it. It still runs great. I don't have any mechanical issues with it. It's reliable. Not a bunch of electronic stuff to worry about. Not saying at some point that maybe I'll try to upgrade my woods bike. I also, oh, kind of blew that turn. I also really enjoy the 250. As you know, I also have a KTM 300 SX in my garage now. I've ridden it once. I need to get back on it, but it just hasn't panned out quite yet. But I'm interested in the 300 platform. And but I'd kind of like to ride a 250 TBI as well. My buddy has a Husky that I've ridden before. Maybe I'll get to spend a little more time on that because I'm curious to see. It's much more linear than this bike is. This bike, like I mentioned before, kind of hits like a motocross bike, and I have it set up that way because I enjoy that type of feel. But it may make me tired overall and probably unnecessarily. I just wish that I was a test rider for magazines or something so that I could really just ride every bike and spend some laps on it and spend some time on it, because a lot of times you're just kind of guessing as a consumer. And I think that's why I buy so many bikes and have so many bikes in my garage, because I just want to see what they feel like. Yeah, you can always borrow your buddies if you can put it all together, but it's like I want to ride the 300 SX in the woods to see if that moto suspension works in the woods, because I know some guys like to start out with a motocross bike and kind of convert them to woods bikes because they feel like the suspension's a little better off the bat for them. And I don't think that pertains to me per se, because I really like the wood suspension on this bike. It's softer, it's faster, it sticks to the ground really well. And yeah, I mean the suspension on this bike is definitely, you know, not stock, but even stock it was better than most of the motocross bikes I tried to ride in the woods.
Mistakes get made when you get tired.
Alright, let's do a minute of silence here so you can just enjoy the sound of this FMF exhausted two-stroke. Starting now. Alrighty, and that will conclude your minute of silence so you can enjoy the magical sound of this dirt bike. And yes, she is a beaut. So anyhow, as we are coming to the conclusion of this video, what would you like to see next? You got anything? What, should I do some reviews? I've been thinking about doing some reviews. You know, I've got quite a few years experience riding dirt bikes, different gear, different stuff, different helmets, different, you know, action cameras, whatever. Thinking about throwing some of that stuff in here, having some fun with this. It means you'd get to see more of my pretty face, which I know is what everybody wants to see. I mean, the riding videos are awesome, and I know that helps the racers and the riders a lot to, you know, probably do the same thing that I do when I'm going to a new event, whether it be a motocross track or a woods race. You kind of hit the old YouTubes and see what it looks like, what last year's race looked like, or the last round, or whatever. I think a lot of people really enjoy that stuff, but I'm just trying to keep evolving the channel a little bit. I'm not really in this to, you know, get more subscribers or more views, or I'm not trying to make money on this channel. I'm just doing it for fun. I kind of enjoy going back and watching this stuff. See the improvements I've made, not only in my writing, but in my video editing and quality of this, you know, this whole media thing. Anybody that knows me knows that this really isn't my style, this whole talking on camera or any of that stuff. It's not something I'm good at. It's kind of why, part of the reason why I started doing it was just to challenge myself personally to see if I could do it and not sound like an idiot. And I think sometimes I don't sound like an idiot, but most of the time I do. But I'll take it, you know. I'm pretty comfortable talking on the old camera now. I often run out of things to say, kind of like the last, I don't know, 13 minutes of this video. But, you know, I'm still rambling. But yeah, again, if you've watched it this long, I appreciate it. I'm pretty deep into this video at this point. So I think I'm going to sign off for now. So, thanks for watching, and until the next one, I'm out.